Okay, wait a minute, come on. We got a guy here who wants to speak.
I love the passion. Keep it up. My name is Assemblyman DiPietro, and I voted no. It is time to draw a line in the sand. Let me repeat, it is time to draw a line in the sand. Now, today, I want to thank you all for coming out and showing our governor that you, the people, will not stand idly by and have your constitutional rights stripped away. Like Senator Marchione, I'm in the Assembly. I have put forth a bill in the Assembly to repeal this act. Make no mistake, this is an unprecedented, deliberate attack on our Second Amendment rights. I want to talk to you today about some things they don't teach you in government school and that the liberal progressive politicians won't tell you. The right to bear arms is a natural right of the individual. It wasn't and isn't granted by our government or some slimy politician. More than your right to breathe comes from the government. If you have the right to life, then you must have the means to defend that life against those who would stop you from breathing. We live under the most powerful government that ever existed, and it's getting stronger, bigger, and more powerful every week. There is literally no aspect of life, no matter how trivial or private, that progressive politicians do not have designs on. How about Little League football, the size of soft drinks, or what you say on Twitter? That is why we must resist this current gun grab by all means. We must draw a line in the sand today. Isn't the right to bear arms implied in the right of revolution that proclaimed in the founding document of our nation? Of course it is. Good luck fighting a revolution against a state that can send a drone to your house and make you disappear when all you have to fight back with is a revolver, if that. Not only is the right to bear arms implied in our founding document, but the actual start of the revolution was an act of resistance against British gun control at Lexington and Concord. America was born when the Minutemen picked up their privately owned muskets and formed a line of defense against government troops coming up the road to take their guns. They don't teach this stuff in school. It is critical to realize that progressives never addressed the actual reason for the right to bear arms. The Second Amendment has nothing to do with hunting, sport or target shooting, or collecting antiques. And its main purpose, believe it or not, is not to allow you to protect yourself from criminals, although that is secondary and a very important purpose. It is the undeniable historical fact that the central purpose of the right to bear arms is to allow the people to protect themselves from the government. From the government. The governor has said that we are the minority around New York State. Yes, those of us who value wisdom of the founding fathers and the foresight they had in putting God and the right to bear arms in our Constitution and Bill of Rights. Samuel Adams, a tireless fighter for our revolution, once said of our struggle, "It does not take a majority to prevail, but rather an irate, tireless minority keen on setting brush fires of freedom in the minds of men." That is why we hold these rallies, and that is why we're going to repeal this horrible unconstitutional bill. We look to history, and what history shows us is that when a corrupt leader seeks to limit your rights, they do it in the dead of night, without public discourse, and they do it using threats and intimidation. The governor bypassed all ethics and bypassed all procedure in order to get what he wanted. And like a child, he wanted it his way, and he wanted it now. I voted against this bill, and I am proud that one of the first votes I ever cast was to stand with our Constitution and all of you. Please, Let me repeat this brilliant quote from our country's first president, George Washington. Listen, he said, "A free people ought not to only be armed and disciplined, but they should have sufficient arms and ammunition to maintain a status of independence from any who might attempt to abuse them, which would include their own government." The Second Amendment is very clear. The founding fathers made their intentions very clear. Now I'll repeat the words exactly so that I am very clear to those who voted for the law. If you know this, say it with me. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you, everybody. Great news. Hey, did you see the sun came out for a minute? Okay, I'd like to introduce Mike Miller.